Time stands still. Time stands still. There's a metaphor in hand, a metaphoric blast which only few will understand. Under clothes, under skin, underneath we're all the same. For when you remove the tricky tricks, only
Sleep intro, take 2.
skeleton bones remain. Only 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 skeleton bones.
There are a few things in this life that I can say without a shadow the hedgehog of a doubt
Shadow, it's me, the devil.
have truly molded me into the semi-functional, tax-paying, yes, I pay my taxes, please don't look into that,
We're from the IRS.
human being that you see here before you. No, I'm not talking about actual things like God and Jesus or my parents. Shout out to Rihanna and Jenica. They raised 6 daughters and none of them died because the wall socket looked very fork-shaped. Of course we got Star Wars. My parents have quoted Yoda to counsel me more than they've quoted Paul in Corinthians or whatever the heck that word is. SpongeBob SquarePants, Drake and Josh, 2000s kids things. Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon teaching me that a simple life is the most fulfilling, and then me retaining none of that. These are childhood things though. It's easy to be impressionable when you're a kid. So when you're an adult, how do you grow? How do you learn? Well, if you're me, you latch onto a 2-piece band from Ohio. I first heard of 21 Pilots 8 years ago. Holy shit, it's been 8 years. And ever since then, no hesitation, they've been my favorite band. Their music came to me at the perfect time in my life. I was just starting my freshman year of college. I had no idea what I was doing. I was frustrated financially, academically, sexually, and I feel like most people can relate to that at that point in time. And while most people at this age do something drastic like travel or date or join a cult, nope, that didn't happen to Aubrey. My friend showed me a band. And before any of you annoying clickies come out of the woodwork, no, I didn't get into 21 Pilots because of Stressed Out. If someone got introduced to the band because of Stressed Out, that's not a big deal. It just means that, cool, they got to get into the fandom. Now they're a part of the clique. Why is that such a bad thing? But that's in a later video. We'll get to that. So why am I bringing up this band now? I don't talk about music. I never talk about music. These guys, look at them. They seem cringe. Why are they wearing balaclavas? Why is a car on fire? When are you gonna do all these other videos you promised? Yes, I hear you. I hear you. I constantly hear you guys every night before I drift off into the strange purgatory that I call sleep. First off, this channel is first and foremost about storytelling. And 21 Pilots, they're storytellers. And this May, we're getting the conclusion to one of the greatest, most genre-defying, blending bits of reggae, rap, psychedelic rock, heavy metal into this beautiful, delicious, audio-sensory smoothie of a story that stretches across 3 whole albums. This May, we're getting the next 21 Pilots album, the conclusion to the Trench trilogy, Clancy. And I'm gonna tell you guys about it because it's important to me, and I don't have anyone else to talk about this stuff with. But we can't just dive into Trench. I mean, come on, we can't just go from this to this.
What the f is going on?
We gotta know how we got here. We gotta know where this started, so we can understand where we're going. So, be sure to subscribe, because this is going to be a multiple video series. And a lot of work. Please, please subscribe. We're going to analyze, dissect, get all up in every 21 Pilots album, from Vessel all the way to Clancy when it finally comes out. That's right, I'm only doing the studio releases. I am not doing self-titled or regional at best. Please don't make me do them. This is already so much freaking work. I'm begging you. But first, I gotta introduce you to the boys. Yes, I'm gonna be calling the band the Boys because they are the boys. And I will be calling the fans the Clique because that's what we're called. I don't know why. I wasn't at the meeting. Picture this. It's 2009. The worst Transformers movie ever just came out. You and the boys are playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare in your parents' basement, freebasing Mountain Dew Code Red and snorting Cheetos. Upstairs, your parents are struggling to pay their mortgage because it's the recession and it's not looking good. Meanwhile, out in the taint of America, otherwise known as Ohio, a skinny basketball player is making musical history, and you don't even know it, you stupid little bastard. Tyler Robert Joseph was born in 1988, the second born of 4. Shout out to all my fellow second-borns. And this 5'9" kid had a dream that didn't involve finishing Ohio State. Between longboarding, shooting hoops, and making epic lip-sync videos to Enrique Iglesias' The Ping Pong Song, Tyler was writing and recording music in his parents' basement. These keyboard smashes produced a self-made album called No Fun Intended. What is No Fun Intended? Don't worry about it. That's not what we're talking about. While I don't know Tyler personally, you can guess by his music that during this time especially, he suffered from depression and anxiety.
At what point in your life you realize that you were going to have to develop some tools in order to function and live with just the person that you are?
Mm-hmm. I never would have turned to music if I didn't feel like I needed to work on something or change or cope with something. I think that I was perfectly fine before music, and then something happened where it just felt like a buildup of some sort, and I didn't know how to release that. I didn't know how to decompress that.
This caused him to question life, existence, relationships, and his faith. Gee, I wonder why I relate to this guy so much. To better cope with his pain and to allow his family to understand his emotions better, he did what all artists do.
I was forced to learn how to play the piano, at least the way I look at it. And, when I first showed my parents a song or two, I was really concerned that they were going to be really concerned.
And how'd your parents take it?
Well, that's what was so surprising about it, was it felt like when I was writing a song, and I would show someone, it was like, okay, now let's start the conversation. Mm. But what would usually have been the beginning of a long conversation / check up on you / lecture was just, wow, that's great. And that was it. That was the end of the conversation. And that's why I was like, I can do this more.
The relief.
I don't have to keep on talking about it afterwards.
And for a beginner, he was pretty good at it, but he couldn't do it alone. Enter Chris Chris, and Nick Thomas. You're probably thinking, who are these sexy boys? They're not in the Stressed Out music video. Don't worry about it. Nick played bass, he was Tyler's childhood friend, and Chris played drums. Tyler met him at college. The squad was ready, but they'd need a name. They settled on 21 Pilots, a reference to the play All My Sons by Arthur Miller. Pay attention in AP English if you want to start a band. They released their debut album in December of 2009, 21 Pilots, often referred to as self-titled, by the Clique. And while there are definitely seeds of what's to come, there are some creative decisions that I don't really like in this album. For one thing, Tyler does this thing called chewing on your vowels when you sing. It was a vocal style very popular at the time, especially in pop punk. Think, where are you? And I'm so sorry. He still kind of does this, but he's drawn back a lot to his more natural voice, which, by the way, he has the voice of an angel. Production-wise, it's not super cool, but I won't hold it against them because they were like dirt pudding cup poor. Tracks like Johnny Boy and Oh Misbeliever are absolute bangers. There's some somber symbolism and religious imagery. I forgot to mention that Tyler was raised Christian. That's going to be a very important point when we get to the later albums. The song Addict with a Pen is literally a conversation between him and God, asking God for help and feeling like he's not receiving any answers. That being said about self-titled, it does hold one of my favorite songs of all time, Taxi Cab. Another song very heavy with religious imagery. When they played this at the Bandito tour in 2018, I bawled like a baby. The band started gaining steam, but balancing work and music was a challenge. During one show, drummer Chris asked a friend from work to fill in for him, Josh Dunn. I wonder if he's going to be important. Spoilers, he was, because Josh officially took over for Chris in May of 2010. Pretty soon after that, Nick also left the band to focus on school. So now it's just Tyler and Josh. Who's Josh? Also a local Columbus boy, Josh Dunn was also born in 1988. He played the trumpet in high school, though he found that he was actually super drummy at some point. He's self-taught, which is so freaking cool if you listen to how unique and impressive his drumming style is. He's also the living embodiment of sunshine. It was happenstance that these two met, and when you look back on it, it kind of feels like destiny. As you can tell, two people didn't really meet the definition of a band.
This all basically means is 21 Pilots is going to be a two-piece band, and we're going to rely pretty heavily on technology and energy on stage to cover up the fact that we're only two people. But I think we can do it.
Even when you step away, your medium always finds a way to suck you back in. Thankfully, Tyler didn't step away. He wrote the next album, Regional at Best. I don't like this album.
Hold on to your hats! You're about to get pounded!
A lot of mistakes from Self-Titled are repeated and some made even worse. Half the songs were re-released on the studio album, Vessel, and Vessel just all around had way better production because they actually had money, like real money backing it. However, songs like Lovely, Kitchen Sink, Forest, they're really good, despite the latter inspiring one of the most atrocious things to ever plague human society. For your own sake, do not look into that. But I digress. This is where they became the boys, you know? And they did it. They got a record deal with the label Fueled by Ramen, who produced artists you might have heard of, like Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, Paramore, Jimmy Eat World, Yellow Card, Young the Giant, Fun, Gym Class Heroes, you know, like small indie artists that, you know, don't really make any waves. And in 2013, they finally released their first studio album, Vessel. Vessel used to be my favorite album of all time. Used to be. While continuing with the synth pop sounds from Regional at Best, Vessel has a massive improvement in production. The acoustic drums blend beautifully, and Tyler has started to kind of, you know, mess with something that he will be later known for, which is genre blending. And there is no better song to exemplify this than Ode to Sleep. Ode to Sleep is the song that this video started with. Ode to Sleep is one of the greatest songs ever written, because it's 3 songs in one. It starts with this dark, eerie, creepy, like digital synth melody that just kind of increases and increases and gets more and more intense as the drums come in, as like all these weird instruments start playing, and then Tyler just comes in and you think, what's he gonna do? What's gonna happen? He's gonna rap.
Fine and dandy, but then by the time I find it handy to rip my heart apart and start planning my crash landing, I go up to the ceiling, then I feel my soul start leaving like an old man's hair receding.
So what's Ode to Sleep about? Good question. Ode to Sleep, in simple terms, is about recognizing your own inner darkness. Which, when we get to what the themes of the album is at the very end of this video, you'll understand why this song is the one they open with, and why this song is the one that they open the show with. Now, in honor of Tyler, I will be saying the lyrics as fast as I possibly can. I will not be rapping them, I will just be saying them. I wake up fine and dandy, but then by the time I find it handy to rip my heart apart and start planning my crash landing, I go up to the ceiling, then I feel my soul start leaving like an old man's hair receding. I'm pleading, please, oh please on my knees repeatedly, asking why it's got to be like this. Is this living free? I don't want to be the one that has the sun's blood on my hands. I'll tell to the moon, take this weapon forged in darkness, some see a pen, I see a harpoon. That's like I can never do that right the first time. We're just gonna go with that take, okay? So basically what he's saying in the first verse is, when he wakes up in the morning, everything seems fine. He's okay, you know, he's content, he's fine with life. And then as the day goes on, as it gets to be night, as he kind of gets to be alone with his thoughts, something comes out. So what does he do to fight this darkness? He turns to writing. And then the change in this song is to symbolize the night ending and the day starting.
I'll stay awake, 'cause the dark's not taking prisoners tonight.
And him kind of looking back and realizing, what was that all about? Like, why was I feeling that way last night? chorus is him kind of pleading and kind of talking to his inner darkness. So like, why is this plaguing me so much? What reason does this have to exist? Why does it feel like something out of my control is trying to kill me? Is it because I'm significant? I'm not. I'm me. Like what is the reason for this? And then, to symbolize night coming again and these dark thoughts taking him over, once again, we go back to how the song at the beginning was. Okay. On the eve of a day that's forgotten and fake as the trees they await and clouds they anticipate, the start of a day when we put on our face a mask that portrays that we don't need grace, on the eve of a day that is bigger than us, but we open our minds because we're told that we must, and the trees wave their arms and the clouds try to plead, desperately yelling, there's something we need, I'm not free, I ask forgiveness 3 times, save amount that I denied, and 3-time MVP, this crime, I'm afraid to tell you who I adore, won't tell you who I'm singing towards, metaphorically, I'm a whore, that's denial number 4. Okay.
Bars! 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 Bars!
And then we go back into the pre-chorus, and then again the chorus, and then the chorus repeats until the song ends, kind of anticlimactically. And that's because the questions posed in Ode to Sleep haven't been answered yet. So you can't really conclude the song when you haven't really answered the question that the song was asking. So the rest of the album is him trying to answer this question. And we go into the next track, track number 2, Holding On to You. Holding On to You is a banger of a song. And here's what Tyler has to say about Holding On to You.
And as I was preparing for the set today, I remembered an old journal entry that I'd done a long time ago, and I rarely ever crack open old journals. And in 2010, there's this one journal entry I talked about. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this music thing. I don't know if it's not really working right now. There's really no light at the end of the tunnel. The people around me were saying that their time is running out and they wanted to move on to other things. And I started to wonder if my dream was not supposed to happen. At the very end of it, it says, but I started working on a new song. And right now the title is called Entertain My Faith. I'm excited about it, so I'm gonna keep on working on music.
If Ode to Sleep was the realization of inner darkness, track number 2 is turning to a higher power for help. This song is great with this punchy 5-chord progression on the piano, the drums just bursting into your soul. And it also is a great example of Tyler's love of the poetry technique assonance. Yeah, stop giggling at the word. I know, I hear it too. Also, look at the music video. If you're wondering where my channel logo comes from, why my face looks like that, it's not a reference to the Bad Batch. It's a reference to this video. In the video, contemporary dancers representing Tyler's inner battles and darkness dance and fill the room around them as they perform the song.
I'm taking over my body, back in control, no more shoddy. I bet a lot of me was lost, T's and crossing I's and dotted. I must have forgot, you can't trust me. I'm open a moment and close when you show it before you know it, I'm lost at sea. And now that I write and think about it and the story unfolds, you should take my life, you should take my soul.
So this is Tyler not speaking to his inner darkness, but calling upon a higher power to help him fight this. And then we go into the pre-chorus, which is where you hear what I'm talking about when I mention assonance.
You are surrounding all my surroundings, sounding down the mountain range of my life.
The repetition of the ow sound is just... it's so satisfying. And then we have the chorus, this triumphant or desperate, depending on how you want to interpret it, cry of, and I'll be holding on to you. So Tyler speaking to a higher power, speaking to God and saying, I see you everywhere in my life. You defy all my logic that I have within my own brain. You change my perception. I'm going to be holding on to you.
Remember the moment, you know exactly where you're going, cause the next moment before you know it's time to slow, and then it's frozen still, and the windowsill looks really nice, right? You think twice about your life, it probably happens at night, right?
That line hits really freaking hard. You know what Tyler's talking about. You know what he means. When you have those thoughts, when you suffer from something like that, they, for some reason, are the strongest at night, when you're alone, when you have nothing else to think about and nothing else to occupy your time. And if you're like me and you suffer from insomnia, it just makes it all the worse. So what does he say to do?
Fight it, take the pain, ignite it, tie a noose around your mind, loose enough to breathe fine and tie it to a tree, tell it you belong to me, this ain't a noose, this is a leash.
The concept of a noose as a leash, a symbol linked to suicide, being used as one to fight against these feelings is just, you just don't get that kind of songwriting from a lot of people, do you? And then as the music gets softer, as the drums fade out, as the piano becomes gentle and shifts up a few octaves, in the music video you see a single dancer, and this, I believe, symbolizes Tyler starting to lose the fight, becoming consumed with a single thought. And then what does he do? He refrains and repeats. And then we go into the best part of the song.
Lean with it, rock with it, when we gonna stop with it? Lyrics that mean nothing, we were gifted with thought. Is it time to move our feet to an introspective beat? It ain't the speakers that bump hearts, it's our hearts that make the beat.
That's Holding On to You. It's a great song. I absolutely love it. I don't know what else to say. It's great live. Josh does a backflip off a piano.
Is it time to move our feet to an introspective beat? It ain't the speakers that bump hearts, it's our hearts that make a lean with it, rock with it.
Oh my god. Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
I don't have much to say about Migraine. It's a pretty straightforward song. Tyler uses the metaphor of a headache throughout the song. And why? Tell him, Tyler.
You know, it sucks. I clearly explain in the song Migraine that it's a metaphor. I think the migraine, the headache, to me in this song represents an issue. If you think about what a headache is, the hurting isn't the issue. The hurting in your head is your body telling you there's something else wrong that needs to be fixed, whether you're dehydrated or you're not getting enough sleep, and your body gets your attention through pain. So if you take that example of how your body works and you think about how your psyche works, I think that a headache psychologically could indicate that there's something wrong, and that was ultimately what I was trying to express.
This is even stated in the lyrics.
Let it be said what the headache represents. It's me defending in suspense. It's me suspended in a defenseless test, being tested by a ruthless examiner that's represented best by my depression.
And again, we have Tyler's obsession with similar sounding words. Man, this guy loves the I sound.
Behind my eyelids are islands of violence. My mind shipwrecked. This is the only land my mind could find. I did not know it was such a violent island.
Migraine's great. It's not my favorite song. It's good. Moving on. Finally, we have a song that's not about depressing subject matter. House of Gold. House of Gold is a tribute to Tyler Joseph's mom. It's very simplistic melodically, with a bouncy, almost nursery rhyme-esque rhythm to it. It has this like question and answer structure that's very common in old folk songs. So there's no chorus, just a repeat of the first verse.
I will make you.
Like I said, it's simple, which means it's really easy to catch on and sing along to. And then Tyler just randomly screams at the end because, you know, he just does that.
So I just might become someone.
The music video symbolizes the boys' conflict when their band started to become really kind of big. They started getting successful and they were torn between family and chasing their dream. And in the video, they are literally torn in half. I love this song, so does my mom. Nothing like tonal whiplash than listening to House of Gold and going straight into Car Radio. Car Radio is one of the band's most iconic songs. It's played at every live show and you do not forget it when you see it. This song is avant-garde as shit. The lyrics are presented not as rap, but as like spoken poetry. Like House of Gold, there's no chorus, just verses. The music building gradually with every single verse, adding more elements to it, stronger drums, more digital instruments backing the piano, until of course it ends with Tyler screaming. Tyler tells a story of his car radio getting stolen, something that actually happened to him, and realizing how much he relied on distractions to prevent dark thoughts from entering his brain. Again, this was written before a lot of the whole mental illness awareness was happening. Think back to 2014. People didn't talk about this kind of stuff. Even something as simple and as relatable as thinking existential spiraling thoughts just because you don't have music to listen to.
I ponder of something terrifying, cause this time there's no sound to hide behind. To find over the course of our human existence, one thing consists of consistence, and it's that we're all battling fear. Oh dear, I don't know if we know why we're here. Oh my, too deep, please stop thinking. I liked it better when my car had sound.
Again, the song is very straightforward in its imagery and messages, but I do really love the call to action that happens at the end of the verses.
From the two that we choose to do, peace will win and fear will lose. There's faith and there's sleep. We need to pick one, please, because faith is to be awake, and to be awake is for us to think, and for us to think is to be alive. And I will try with every rhyme to come across like I am dying to let you know you need to try to think. I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought, cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
The next song is called Semi-Automatic. It's a very bouncy, happy sounding melody and everything, and but there's the lyric that I like making someone cry. If you really think about that, it's really when you like to make someone cry. I mean, it's like one of the most like hateful or evil things you can do is to gain pleasure out of seeing someone suffer. And if we think about the reasons why we do things, if I know I'm gonna hurt someone or do something wrong, why would I ever do it again if I saw that it hurt someone? Why is it that we continue to do wrong things? Why do we continue to do things we know are wrong? Why is addiction even a thing? Why can't I do what I want to do? And why do I always do what I don't want to do?
That's the thesis of Semi-Automatic. One of the band's most underrated songs. Again, it's pretty simple in its melodic design, which is why it sticks in your head like something sticky.
I'm never what I like. I'm double-sided and I just can't hide. I kinda like it when I make you cry, 'cause I'm twisted up inside.
But this is something we all can relate to. Wanting to be one thing, but doing the exact opposite. This idea of self-sabotage, of self-annihilation is something that's really, really common throughout all of our lives. In romantic relationships, in platonic relationships, in our jobs, in education, in all aspects of life. Why do we be something we don't want to be? I don't know. I'm hoping I can kind of figure that out someday. Screen is another great song. There's honestly no bad songs on this album, and it just seems like I'm just going to be saying that a lot this entire time. Screen depicts a conversation between Tyler and another person. Now, the great thing about this song is this person could be anybody. It could be a lover, a parent, a friend, or a higher power. Now, with the themings of Vessel, I tend to lean towards God.
I do not know why I would go in front of you and hide my soul, 'cause you're the only one who knows it. Yeah, you're the only one who knows it.
Tyler has a tendency to hide his deepest fears, his deepest insecurities, his worries, his struggles, but he knows that deep inside that's futile, because the person he's talking to can see right past that. This is the only person who truly knows him, because there's a screen on his chest. This is a great song to be a part of live, because the ending where everyone together is singing "We're Broken People," I don't know, man, it just kind of makes you feel good. This is the most underrated song on the album. This is a great song. I love this song. No one ever talks about this song in the clique. What is this song about? This song is about committing an egregious sin that you feel like you have to hide from.
I have killed a man, and all that I know is I am on the run and go.
Kind of using this analogy of like committing a crime, committing murder, to committing an act against yourself. It could be self-harm, it could be indulging in an addiction. It can honestly apply to any of these things. But whatever it was, Tyler believes that he has killed his old self. That's who he's referring to when he says, "I've killed a man." He's killed his old self. And there's a big amount of shame to that. And in the song, he's talking to who I believe is his father. Tyler's dad has come out and said that this is his favorite song that Tyler's ever written, so I have a feeling that it's about his dad.
Paul, I'm not the one you know.
He's going through a lot of really hard things, and he knows that his dad wants nothing more than to take this away from him, take whatever struggle he's going through away. But he knows that he can't, and Tyler knows that he can't.
Don't wanna call you in the nighttime, don't wanna give you all my pieces, don't wanna hand you all my troubles, don't wanna give you all my demons. You'll have to watch me struggle from several rooms away.
And so all he's asking his dad is, please just stay with me.
But tonight, I need you to stay.
Tyler, explain what "fake you out" means.
And lyrically, it just talks about what it talks about. You know, it's hard for me to explain it, but it's really about just putting on a facade for people. You know, I think about being on stage, trying to look cool. You know, for you right now, it's like I'm wearing a really nice shirt. The song kind of touches on how we constantly have to like lie to people about who we really are. And it gets dangerous when you start lying to yourself. And so I like this song because it's a moment of honesty for me.
This is a good song. "Fake You Out," "Run and Go," and "Semi-Automatic" kind of all have similar themes with each other. They're kind of like their own little trilogy. I don't know, I kind of always feel like they are lumped together a little bit just because they're the most forgotten songs on the album. But "Fake You Out's a good song. Again, I believe that Tyler is talking to God in this song.
I'll never be what you see inside. You say I'm not alone, but I am petrified. You say that you are close, is close, the closest star. You just feel twice as far. You just feel twice as far.
As someone who was raised Christian and who still is Christian, I'm still very active in my church and I still practice my faith. And as someone who also has depression, anxiety, and that line just kind of shanks me a little bit. At some point when the band was small, Tyler must have met a fan, or even a few fans, back when he could actually speak and talk with people who came to his shows. Face to face, in person, this fan must have explained why the band and why their music meant so much to them, and described their own personal struggles with depression, self-harm, and suicidal thoughts. This must have happened because Guns for Hands exists. Again, great, amazing song musically, great drums. Josh, keep going, keep killing it. You're doing great, sweetie. The music video is very simple, but this song has something to say.
I know what you think in the morning when the sun shines on the ground. It shows what you have done. It shows where your mind has gone. And you swear to your parents that it will never happen again. I know what that means.
I know what that means too. It's hard for me to admit that, but I know exactly what he's talking about.
That you all have guns, and you'll never put the safety on, and you all have a plan to take it. I'm trying to sleep, but I can't when you all have guns for hands.
The concept of using something that's only meant to harm, that's only meant to cause pain, and saying that that's fused to your hands. It might seem kind of like silly, cringe imagery, but no, it's not. And the fact that Tyler knows this, the fact that Tyler knows that there's people out there that he is linked to because of his music that suffer from these things and have these thoughts and do this to themselves, that scares the shit out of him. So he tries to tell you what to do.
Let's take this a second at a time. Let's take this one song, this one rhyme together. Let's breathe together to the beat. But there's hope out the window. So that's where we'll go. Let's go outside and all join hands. But until then, you'll never understand.
And this is what the band's live shows have turned into. This way for people who all suffer from something. We're all going through something. We all have something that just really drags us down. But Tyler and Josh have made their live shows a place where we can just leave all of that outside and just be together and celebrate the fact that right now, in this moment, we are alive. And we're alive together. And we are sharing in this single moment. And to me, that is beautiful.
Next song is a song called Trees. It's probably the oldest song on that album. I remember writing it a long time ago. The main part of the song is only 3 chords. And it starts in a minor. And I love starting things in a minor because it's sad and I like to be sad. It just makes It makes life more bearable sometimes. I like being sad. I mean, I like putting headphones in and looking out the window and pretending like I'm a sad little main character of some movie. So I write songs that help that. It talks about searching for something, really searching for truth, and literally traveling around trying to find it. I mean, I remember I do some weird stuff when I'm alone, you know. I would like go out into the woods by myself and just like look for something. I don't know if I was waiting for someone to like talk to me or for an idea to come to my head or to see something, you know, that was, you know, either scary or amazing or what. But I felt like if I was alone and I just like yelled out like, you know, prove something to me that I'm not nuts, that would help. And it's the one song that doesn't have a resolution. You never know whether or not I heard what it is I went out into the woods to hear.
Now the night is coming to an end. Ooh. The sun will rise and we will try again. Stay alive for me. You will die, but now your life is free. Take pride in what is sure to die.
I'm talking to the kids that I've already had conversations with, either at a show or even online. But this song really was inspired by them, and I wanted to tell them that it's worth it to just keep going. And it sounds really cliche and kind of, I don't know. I mean it. I mean, I really mean it when I sit here and tell you that. So those are the 12 songs that make up the album that I called Vessel. You wonder why I name it Vessel. On the cover of the album is Josh and I's grandpas. And I think about, you know, just the idea of getting old, the idea of dying. You know, death isn't just this thing that like we have to stop talking about and kind of make awkward. Like, it's gonna happen. Why are we so afraid to talk about it? So I think of taking that inevitable fact that we're gonna die and realizing that I have a body, I have a life, I have a voice. It's kind of a vessel that really kind of holds something. The vessel's not that important. You know, my body's not that important. My voice isn't that important. The songs aren't that important. my life isn't even really that important, but the important thing is what's inside of that vessel. And right now I have a message. I have something to say. What I'm saying is the important thing inside of that vessel. I thought it would be cool to name an album a vessel.
I think Vessel is about our relationship with death, but also our relationship with life. How death encourages us to search for meaning, but can sometimes even take away the value our life has. When we're so focused on that one thing, when we're so focused on the fact that one day we are not going to exist anymore, how that can blind us from really enjoying the moment. Or even how these thoughts, these things of like feeling like we're falling short, feeling like we don't have meaning, feeling like we don't have purpose, how that can just really drag us down into these really dark, horrible places. But what's great about Vessel is it offers an alternative. That alternative is creating. Tyler really emphasizes that art and creation is not your whole purpose, because as human beings, we are so much more than just one thing. We are so much more than our job, our gender, our look, our race, our sexuality. We are so much more than all these individual things. But through art, through creation, we can find what that meaning, what that purpose, we can find who we really are. It's the beginning of it. It's not the whole thing.
I thought it would be cool to name an album a vessel, because behind that cover, there's a message. And thanks for listening to that message, and I hope that in some way it inspires you, encourages you. Because if it does, then everything will have been worth it for me.